This is Up for Grabs, a podcast where three unfiltered friends talk about anything and everything. And now, here are your hosts, Tracy, Kim, and Rachel.
Welcome to Up for Grabs. I'm Rachel. I'm here with my friends Kim.
Hello.
And Tracy.
Hello.
Today we're trying something new on Up for Grabs. We're filming this thing. So all the mean looks that we usually give each other, well, we'll still do it. Yes. We'll still do it, but you're going to actually get to see it. You can find us if you're listening on Up for Grabs podcast on YouTube. And I think it'll be helpful for some of you because some people have said, I listen to your podcast. I don't know the difference in voices between Kim and Tracy and you. Yeah. So this is for the visual learner out there.
Put a face with the voice.
That's right. The lighting in here is perfect.
Okay.
We're all getting our best side.
I don't think so. That's really a fair find. So my chins and I are very nervous, but continue.
Well, I'm going to continue. So today on Up for Grabs, we're going to talk about compliments. We're going to discuss receiving compliments, ones that we remember, giving compliments, the dreaded backhanded compliment. I like to call that compliments ugly cousin or something. I don't know.
No, you don't. You just made that up. You
I
don't
did.
Call it
Does
that.
anyone else call it that?
Nope.
Okay. Whoops. I'm going to make it a thing.
Okay.
Why we give compliments, and they're kind of, I was going to say, and random acts of kindness, but they already kind of are, depending on who you give them to, a random act of kindness.
No, they are.
Yeah. And another goal is to encourage people to give compliments, right? That's part of why
Right.
we're doing
Like I
this.
walk up to you and say, Tracy,
Right.
it'd be great if you gave me a compliment.
No, I meant that's why we're doing the podcast. I'm not giving you an assignment.
Well, I think one of our assignments, and I don't know if you did this, Tracy, was that we had to think of compliments to give each other.
I did it.
Did you do that?
I did the
Well,
homework.
as you see, I have my notes like I always do, and I am ready.
Did you do it?
I did, right here.
Oh, you pointed at a vague spot on your.
It's right
in
there.
This. All righty. So here we go. We're going to talk about compliments. I want to first talk about receiving them because I wanted to do this podcast because for some reason, after we recorded our podcast about teachers, I remembered an activity that one of my teachers did that really impacted me. And it wasn't the teacher. The teacher was Sister Kathleen. She was my 7th grade English teacher.
We're calling out nuns by name.
Well, she's not a nun anymore.
That'll be next week's podcast.
She'll be our first guest. Anyway, Sister Kathleen, she was our English teacher. She was a good teacher, but it wasn't like she was my fave, so I didn't talk about her. But there was one assignment that Sister Kathleen had us do in 7th grade that stuck with me to the point that when I was going through old stuff, when I was moving at one time, I found it. So what it was that she made everyone write a compliment, like an adjective, like it wasn't about looks.
Yeah.
It was about
that was
character.
a common thing to do. And like
did they?
Yeah, we did it. Like 3
Like
things.
you would have a paper that said your name at the top and
Yeah,
you'd
and
pass
just
it
do 3
around and
little
everybody
things.
would write
Yeah.
something nice.
Okay, well, what we did, we just had a list of everyone in front of us, everybody in the class, and next to them we put an adjective that we think describes them. And she collected them all.
Yeah.
And then she compiled it for you. So she gave it to you at the end. It was just handwritten on her little desk pad, but it would say, Rachel, and then it would list all the adjectives that everybody said. They didn't say who said it.
Right.
So you didn't know if like the guy you liked said that you were
cute.
cute.
Foxy.
Foxy was not one of the. We were in a Catholic school, really. I don't think
Weren't
we
a
were
lot of
allowed to use
foxy
that.
ladies? All right.
And it couldn't be looks. You couldn't say the word nice.
Yeah, you really had to dig for an adjective.
So she really had to pull out the old thesaurus and especially the boys. They were the worst.
Yeah.
And it was good that it was anonymous in 7th grade because if a boy said something nice about a girl, people would suddenly think that they like them.
Smurfly, yeah.
So you said it.
Always.
Oh my God. No one says that. So anyway, so I kept that piece of paper. So I thought, especially at that time period in your life when maybe you're not feeling it, it was fun to see in writing.
Yeah, positive affirmations.
Just needed a little help. So Kim, did you have any compliments that you remember receiving that you'd like to share?
So last night when I was doing my homework, I struggled the most with like the best compliments that you've received? Because my husband and I were talking about it, and I almost felt like, well, is it arrogant to say that you like getting oh, somebody said this about me, or look at, I don't know. It was a very uncomfortable feeling. But then I kind of stepped back and I thought, they are acts of kindness, and compliments, they make you feel good about yourself, but they also encourage you to think of others differently and to be kind to others. So there's not in my life that somebody said something to me that like completely changed my life on a compliment. But I think the most important compliments to me through the years have been, one, it's always a compliment if somebody says something about my parenting in a positive way.
Right.
That they say you're a good parent, that, you really did a great job with this, and you really did a great, that to me is very important, especially in adulthood and when you have kids. I clean houses for a living. I have my own little side gig. And I think with anybody that works and has a job and has a career, you want to be complimented on how you do a job.
Right.
So I clean for several different people, but the best compliment I can get, and it doesn't happen very often this way, but is to get a text. Oh, I just came home and my house looks fantastic. Thank you so much for working so hard. Like, to me, that's like the best thing that I can hear about my job. And then I already kind of said this, but like praise on my kids. Like if somebody says, oh, your son graduated from school and now he's doing this. Oh my gosh. It makes me feel good inside that maybe indirectly my husband and I had a little something to do with the success of your children. So to me, those are the best compliments. And of course I like to hear, hey, you look pretty, or hey, you're funny, or whatever. But the ones that stick with me the most are probably just me as a human being. Like, am I a good person?
Or about your character.
My character. Am I noticed for those type of things? And that to me is the most, the most.
Because you are known for your graphic tees.
I am. I've got one.
Now that we're doing the YouTube thing, we might as well talk about it. I mean, Kim always wears the cutest graphic sweatshirts and t-shirts. Today she's sporting her David Bowie.
I am.
I didn't give it the credit when I first came in, and I upset you.
Yeah, well, because you told me that I didn't really look that good for our first recording.
For the episode about compliments.
No, what I said was, you look cute.
I look good.
To Rach, because she had on either a new shirt. It's a white shirt, and so it must be new because it's all still white without any spots. And she had on earrings, and like she was all fixed up. And then I looked at you and said, hey, nice seeing you. I don't know.
But this is Kim.
I know
This is Kim.
And I'm delighted to see Kim. But I looked at her and then I looked at you. Would you want me to lie? Because then that would make her compliment insincere. I also did not get ready, so it's okay. And I love you.
But I kind of did get ready.
No,
you didn't at all, right,
You're wearing
Kim?
a David Bowie graphic tee. That is
cute, though.
I wasn't going to come on with like my smart pantsuit. Nobody's going to go
smart pants.
No. But I mean, I think I'd look good in one.
Yes, you would, because you're very fit and trim. She is.
Okay, now she's
a compliment.
Thank
You said whatever. I complimented you and you said whatever.
This brings up a good point. Kim brings up a good point.
What?
Kim can't wait to hear what that good point is. No, she brings up a good point that why is it so hard to accept a compliment?
Yeah.
Why is it that you can't just say thank you and be done with it? Why is it always, oh, this old thing, I got it for $2 at Goodwill? Or I'm a big one about saying how much something costs.
I'm exactly where I got it and how much it was.
Yeah,
I don't know why I need to tell people
And
that.
yet I've had it for 12 years.
Yeah.
So thank you for
So instead of
appreciating
just saying thank you, you're going to just try to belittle it as much as possible, downplay it, make it.
I know. I think
So
as
we're
we
all
get
gonna
older,
practice.
it's hard to do that.
But why is it hard to
I don't know.
accept that you're wonderful?
I
think she meant that to me.
No, I was looking this way. The camera saw it. I was looking this way.
That's a very tough question because it is so true.
Yeah.
It just makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why should it? Because some people can take that compliment.
Oh, heck yes.
And
I know.
And I want to be that person. So I think
You
we
do?
need to make a pact that the next time someone compliments us, we don't belittle it. We don't downplay it. All we say is what?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think I will, but I'll try. I don't think I will. I'm being honest.
I think it depends too who the compliments are coming from. Like, I think sometimes catty women will compliment each other and you think, oh, is she just saying that type thing? I don't know. I coach 4th grade kickball just as a fun little hobby for the...
Are they caddying on the kickball field?
No,
Where are you
this
going?
is what's fun is that these girls are like at 4th grade, especially. I think when they get into junior high, they don't do it near as much, but they love to give compliments. And I don't know why, but like a little girl will say, I really like your hair today, Mrs. Schaefer. And I'm like,
she just wants to play second base.
I know. Or
and let her.
Or like there's a little girl on the team's like, your sunglasses are so cute. And I don't have to make excuses for it. Like I really do say, well, that was so nice. Thank you. But it's hard to say that
to an adult
saying it to you. And I don't know why. I think with kids, I think it's genuinely coming from their heart.
So you want to say to the adult, liar.
Yeah.
What
really.
What do you
You're
want?
just saying that to be nice.
Well, and this is kind of on topic, but a little bit off. Shocking.
That's your brand. Yeah.
Instagram in the past like 2 years has taken a big shift, at least the people that I follow. Mm-hmm. Like it used to be people kind of held off on compliments or they said not nice things. But like girls nowadays, if they post a picture like a teenager, 16, whatever, 25 girls get in there and say, OMG, gorge, love this, beautiful, so hot, whatever. Like, and you know, sometimes they don't always seem completely sincere to me where I'm like, oh, come on. But then I'm like, okay, isn't that nicer than something mean? Like, you know, so I don't know what that is, but it didn't used to be that way, but they can't run there fast enough to say how beautiful they are.
Well, and I think that's good, but don't you think it's kind of fishing for compliments or kind of unhealthy? Like if you're posting a picture, a selfie of you all made up, and aren't you expecting or hoping that someone likes it or says, oh my gosh,
well, you
so
are,
pretty.
But is there something wrong with that if you took the time to get ready?
But what if,
I think that is social media.
what if you need it?
That
though?
is
You
that
don't
is your brand.
post
You
something-
become your brand once you put yourself out there.
Yeah,
So why
you
wouldn't you
don't
put your
post
best foot
something-
forward?
No, I'm not saying not to look good. I'm just saying why I think it's could be not healthy.
It's a
for,
thirst trap.
Yeah, like why can't you just be comfortable enough and know that you're pretty and it doesn't matter if somebody else says it, as opposed to putting it out there and begging people to make a comment?
I don't know.
I think that more in the celebrity realm, that's very, very apparent. I'm not going to lie. When people post selfies, and especially when they're our age versus a teenager, which you kind of can give them cut a little slack.
Yes, because they don't.
When
They
they're
don't
our
have the
age,
confidence.
sometimes, I mean, I'm going to be transparent. Sometimes you can look, even if you think they're pretty or not, but you're like, okay, I mean, why?
What do you need? Yeah.
What I mean, and that's just, I think that's what's become of our world of social media.
True.
It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's how people gain self-esteem. That's how they feel important. I mean, I think everybody, whether they want to admit it or not, everybody feels the need to feel like that you appreciated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seen, heard.
Yes.
Yeah. Tracy, do you have any compliments that you've received that
Sure.
were impactful?
Like Kim said, my first is that, you know, and probably the one I hear the most, not to brag, is that I am a good mom. And I hear that pretty regularly, and that is the one that I like the most. Am I just supposed to say one, or I have a couple?
Keep going.
No, all right, I'll keep going. The next one is your kids are so kind. And I consider that a direct reflection on me, so I take it as my own compliment, even though they're kind of complimenting my kids. You guys will disagree, but sometimes people say I'm funny.
You're very funny.
You're hilarious.
I was fishing. Thank you. The next one, your house is always so clean.
No one says that.
I was going to say,
she couldn't even say it without laughing.
I cracked myself up putting that one there. And then the next one, when they say, like, you look like your mom.
Yeah.
That's
you do
always a
look
good
like your mom.
compliment.
Yeah. And that is
I
a
look
compliment.
just like my dad. My face is as big as my dad's.
But
and
your
I look
spirit.
But I
you favor
feel
your
like
mom.
I have her essence.
You do.
And I
You do.
take that. So
You do.
And her hair's turned white, and so does mine. So
Yeah.
whatever.
You've got great hair. So
Well, thank you.
do.
Stop it.
I was
You have a head
accepting
full
my
of thick hair.
compliment.
Yes.
We're learning right here on the
We are.
podcast, you guys. Thank you.
Anyway, that's what I got.
And nothing. Okay. I couldn't think of anything specific. Like somebody, like Kim said, like somebody said something and I was like, it changed my life or anything. But one thing that I did hear was you should be a writer. Now, I heard this when I was 18, when I didn't know what I wanted to do. And between 18 and 50, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And then at 50, I decided, you know what? I like to write, so maybe I'll write. And I remembered that compliment. You should be a writer because I think you're good. And so it took me a while to internalize that compliment and believe it.
Yeah.
But I remembered it. And I don't know if it's true, but I'm going to say thank you and continue doing it.
Well, that is my compliment for you when I wrote down one for each of you. And mine was that you are such a talented writer. And it was something that I did not befriend you for because I didn't know that at the time. But your voice is very clear in everything that you write. It's 100% you. And it's, well written. So
thank you.
You are.
Awkward. So it's basically the stuff that I remembered. Oh, and the other thing I said, I just remember things that encourage me because I must be needy and need a lot of encouragement. But something that Rob does, which I totally appreciate, is when I'm trying to do something new, whether it's writing or not eating an entire cake or
doing a blog
or perhaps even a podcast.
Yeah.
He will every once in a while, hey, you're doing a really good job with that. Hey, did anyone tell you you're doing a good job with that? Because it's really good.
He's your biggest fan anyway. So
well, he better be.
He is. I mean, yeah, I can. Yeah.
But I need that.
Yes. Yeah.
And he knows I need it. And so, I guess even if no matter if it's true, I tell him to go ahead and keep doing it because it makes me feel good. So we talked about why it's hard to receive a compliment. And we did discuss it does matter who's giving the compliment.
Yeah.
Because there are some people, tell me if you've ever had this, that every time you see this person, they'll make it a point to point something out. It's usually physical, like, oh my gosh, cute earrings. Like every time you see them. So it's almost like it's their assignment. Like for every person they bump into, they need to find one thing to say.
Maybe it is. Maybe they are making a conscious effort to do that though. Is that wrong?
It's not that it's wrong, but when I know it's going to happen, I just feel like it's not really heartfelt.
Okay.
So maybe over complimenting is not a compliment.
And I can see the not heartfelt side to it, but
it might just be the person is super nice.
No. But I could see, but should we give them anyway, even if they're not heartfelt? Like, is that better than nothing? I don't know. I'm asking.
Well, it might depend on your motive. Kim,
does it tend to be somebody that maybe you're not super close with, or that's just, and so they're maybe in an awkward kind of way, just trying to make conversation, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, I don't have an example offhand, but there's a certain faction of people that's just, my mom has friends like that,
I mean, and it's nice.
You just kind of, and they're,
because you just don't believe it, or
okay. Yeah.
I know. I hope that wasn't your reaction.
We sound like really ungrateful women that really just need.
Hey, your earrings are cute. Really?
Okay.
Really? You think so?
That's what you said last time.
That's so rude.
Well, I got them off Etsy for $10.
Okay, so let's make each other uncomfortable by complimenting each other live on camera. Tracy, do you want to start?
Well, I just did yours, but I can give you another one.
Maybe you need to do it again.
Say it again, please.
You are such a talented writer, Rachel.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Kimberly, you are one of the most sincere, authentic people I know.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
See, we did good.
It's hard just to say
I know.
Because sometimes you want to say, elaborate, please. Examples.
For example.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Kim, I'll let you try.
Okay. So Rachel, this is what I wrote down. This is what
Go on.
Do tell. Your realness, no arrogance. You live very simply. When you and Rob do quite well for yourselves, and you live. There's no arrogance in that whatsoever. You keep your circle small, and I love that I'm part of that circle.
Oh.
And that's, I mean, you just. You get what you get with you. And that's not a backhanded compliment at all. But I know that you're guarded in very many ways. And the fact that you've let me in through the years, get to know you and the realness about you, that's what makes our friendship special.
You're right. I let you in because I like you.
Oh, thank you.
That wasn't my compliment to her.
I made a really weird sound.
Okay.
That's going to come through. I go, oh, like a cat. Good God.
There's no cat here, people. It's just Kim.
So, Tracy.
Yeah. Oh, good.
So, Tracy, you have an aura around you that draws people near you. And it's because it's compassion and you're you're a very non-judgmental person. But what you said about kindness, I mean, that's the thing. I remember the day that I met you at MacArthur on the playground, and I left feeling I want to be her friend. And I think that you attract a lot of that. I mean, probably some unnecessary people, like I just
like
feel
a stray cat.
Yeah. But you do, it's just this aura that you have around you that is a very a soft, a listening ear. If I really was devastated about something or whatever, and I did when my husband was going through some things, I know that you've been through a lot of challenges with your son, and I just know that your heart is always in the right place. So
thank you.
How do you feel about that?
Uncomfortable.
Good.
I know it does. It is. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, let me make you guys feel uncomfortable. Okay. Okay, Kim. I think that you are the most resilient person that I know, because I feel like anything that life throws at you, you process it completely, like you don't skip any steps, and then you move forward. And you do that, and I also put that I think that you're very faith-filled, and I don't mean that in like a corny, like you end your emails with God bless you or whatever. Like not that, but I mean like a true, and not even a denomination. You're just faith-filled. Like you believe, and that helps you. Your faith helps me see how to get through.
Feel hopeful. You can feel hopeful through someone else's faith. I agree.
Absolutely. I also put that Kim is very curious. And I put this because I'm not. No, but it's like, for example.
Yeah, I need an example on that one.
So and man, it's just me. But I'm not curious, and I find it fascinating and great that you are.
Yeah.
For example, like if there's ever a medical issue, I feel like you're like Sanjay Gupta or whoever that guy is. Like you will dig to the bottom of the internet.
I am. I'm very curious. Yeah.
I'm not. I'm like, it's magic. Like I don't care. I guess I don't care. Like but you like, I admire the fact that you're so curious. Like if it's an issue or something that you want to know about, oh, you're going to know about it. And I wish I was more like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tracy?
What?
I couldn't think of anything. But then I said, no, I'm kidding. I put that I admire your resourcefulness and determination, because it kind of goes along with Kim being curious. If there's something, and it usually has to do with your kids, I think if you applied this more to yourself, that would be better. But anyway.
Mind business, continue.
Yeah. Can I give a compliment and advice in the same?
Go on.
I wish you would do this more. But when especially when it has to do with your kids, if there's something that needs to be done or figured out, you can move mountains, and you do it on a daily basis. And I think that's amazing.
And she has the energy to do it. Because sometimes you will talk about something.
Or even when she doesn't have the energy to do it, she still does it. Because I'd say I'm tired.
Yeah. That's being a mom. And that's like being a good mom. No, I come 100.
Okay, then I'm a lazy mom, because I would be like, kids,
no, I kind of consider myself, sometimes I feel like a lazy mom. Seriously, because you really do. You dive in all the way. And oh my gosh, what you're teaching your kids and what your kids learn from that.
Yes. So I totally admire that. I also love, and this kind of goes along with Kim's aura, like wanting to be your friend, just kind of, but the aura that you give off to me is that you're open to the possibility of everything. And
okay, great. There's some parameters.
No, now listen, you're cut off my compliment.
You're going down. She's working blue is what she's trying to do. Is that what you're thinking? That Rachel's being like that that you're open to anything. Anything.
Is that where she went with this? Because
that's where she goes usually.
Okay, you need to grow up.
I was thinking
trying
that's
to give you a compliment.
Somewhere in there.
This is not what she said. No,
back it up.
That you're open to the possibilities of everything. That there's a hopeful, positive outlook, aura to you. For example, I said, hey, I'd like to try to do a podcast. And she's like, well, when we get famous and have a lot of sponsors, like,
yes.
She doesn't go from, you're recording a podcast with me in your attic so our kids can hear it and tell us that we're embarrassing. You went, when we're a national success.
Correct.
I think you asked if we needed some sort of document, how we were going to divide
the royalties from all our sponsors.
She went royalties.
Should we put it in writing? Do we need an attorney?
She did. And I laughed at her, of course, but then I'm like, I didn't go there, but God love you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with shooting for the stars.
Why not?
So I appreciate you doing that because A, it's usually pretty funny, and B, I don't always consider myself a very optimistic person, but I feel as though that's you.
I'll carry your optimism.
Please.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Anything else about receiving compliments that you'd like to say other than thank you?
No, I'm going to just leave it at that.
All right. We're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about compliments we have given, or maybe why we give them. If you can't think of a specific one, Tracy, do you have any compliments given on your long list of notes that you took?
Compliments I've given. I am so proud of you, or I appreciate your efforts. That's one that I give a lot because I, people don't always succeed, and it seems like they get positive feedback when they're successful, but I like to acknowledge effort.
Yes.
So that's one. And I just try to find something specific that someone has and try to acknowledge that. Are you looking at me like I'm not doing right? And I try to acknowledge that. So like, even if it's when I go through the line at McDonald's and get a Diet Coke or whatever, and the person hands me a drink, I try to say, I like your nail polish, or those glasses look good on you. Something that just takes 1 second. And usually they're like, oh my gosh, thanks, I just got them done. Or they'll say, but don't look at this hand because they all came off, and it's kind of a joke or whatever, but something like that.
Well, along those lines, I think I apply it, and I feel like that's a random act of kindness. Like, you didn't have to say that to said worker, but you did because you appreciate them helping you.
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge their existence. I just think everybody wants to be acknowledged for existing, not necessarily doing or being or...
No, I agree.
Correct. Like one time recently, I was in line checking out someplace, and the person before me was super over the top, problematic, like everything was wrong, everything was complaining, price check on that.
I enjoy those encounters, but continue.
And they finally left, and I come up and I just look at the girl behind the poor girl was probably in high school. I'm like, you're doing a good job. And she, like, her face just kind of dropped, like she was just in like a stressful, this person is such a jerk. And I'm like, this person needs to hear that I appreciate them standing here, and I can't believe they didn't punch that person in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So I do a lot of that. The encouraging. What else you got? Anything?
No.
Okay.
Nothing specific.
Kim, you have any compliments given that you like?
I think it's funny that we're all kind of on the same wavelength with this. I looked at it as I tend to want to compliment or want to show kindness kind of to not necessarily underdog, but the type of job. Like, I put service industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very, very aware of when I'm sitting at a table and I'm being waited upon to be kind to the waiter or waitress. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when I'm in groups eating there, and it's within my family and it's within, everybody knows somebody that treat waiters and waitresses terrible.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. And I get so unbelievably uncomfortable. And that is so important. Like going, McDonald's line, or just, you're doing a great job. Even if I have to complain, not that the food, I make it a point to be like, this is nothing on you.
Right.
But my steak's not cooked all the way. I feel that's very important. And then like teachers, underappreciated.
Right.
And I think it's important, and I don't do it all the time, but I have done it. And I feel like I'm bragging on myself, and I'm not. But I think that throughout the school year, especially in high school, that writing a note to a teacher and putting like a $10 Starbucks gift card they need to know that they're appreciated.
Right.
And I think in grade school, it's easy because you feel like I don't know what I know when my kids were little, you get the little gifts for all this kind of stuff. In high school, I feel like sometimes they're kind of forgotten and they're working hard and that kind of stuff. So I think just service industry, teachers, just, that when you see something, we've all been behind somebody in line that just acts like a total,
it just doesn't have to be that way.
Jerk. And you don't know what's going on in their lives, and you
shame
don't,
on them.
you
There's
can kind
something
of
going on in everyone's life.
Right.
But just, I think that people that service other people.
Wow, don't. Tracy,
even that industry, they all need a nice little slap on the back.
You did a good job.
Did you say a slap on the back?
I mean a pat on the back, not a slap on the ass. No, just good job.
Well, Kim, I love you. I think that it's interesting that we both went the same
We all
direction
did.
because
I mean,
I even wrote down about the teacher. I put service industry and teacher because I put that the teachers need to know, because I think right now, maybe it's always been this way, but I feel like now grades have just been like parents are so
it just keeps getting worse.
dumb about grades. I'm
Yes.
like, back off. So I made it a point just when there was a teacher that not, hey, thanks, you're a great teacher because my kid got an A. I compliment them by saying, you're a great teacher because my kid wasn't nervous to come in your classroom and was able to ask questions without feeling dumb.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge.
I agree.
Um,
Did you want to mention the backhanded?
Yeah, I do. After I tell the one story about giving compliments, because kids, like you said, are super honest. My sister, it's something that we say in our family. When if you want to fish for a compliment, when my sister was little, she looked at my mom. I think she was maybe like 4 or 5, and she said, "You're pretty, am I?" So if ever in our family, if we're looking for some reinforcement, we'll say, "You're pretty, am I?" Okay, so backhanded compliment, Tracy.
That's adorable.
Tracy, I'm going to give you one of my favorite backhanded compliments.
Oh, great.
I love how you can wear just anything.
That is super nice.
Isn't that awful? Mm-hmm. Because what is it really saying?
Well, it kind of goes along with what
I'm ready.
Which is, I'll say to you, I love that you don't care what people think about you.
You can really pull off a good graphic
say
tee.
or do anything, and you're fine with it. That must be so freeing.
Must be freeing to not care that everyone hates you. Yes. Kim, did you have any backhanded compliments that you love?
I just was thinking like of maybe a backhanded compliment that happened to me in my teenage years. And this is just ridiculous. And this is no offense to the celebrity that I'm going to mention. But I got told quite a bit when I worked in the mall in high school that I favored a certain celebrity. And take it, I'm 18 years old. And this certain celebrity at the time was probably well into her 40s. Who? And Candace Bergen.
Okay, I kind of see it though. I'm just gonna say it.
I mean, that was a reoccurring.
And that's when Murphy Brown was popular.
Yes, and when she was popular, I worked at Paul Harris in the
but
mall.
she was beautiful. So like,
yeah, she
is
is beautiful.
But as an 18-year-old, why are people telling me that I look like an old lady? That's how I took it, as a backhanded compliment. Now I can look at young pictures of Candace Bergen,
Kim,
and think, but she, like
really, that's your worst backhanded compliment, Kim?
Is that a humble brag?
Really?
Because I got one for you.
I feel like it's a humble brag.
Was that a humble brag?
Wow.
Because I thought maybe I'd get a good laugh out of it.
No, this is better.
I get told all the time I look like Cheryl Ladd, so I totally get it.
Stop.
You're an idiot.
I mean, I guess it's better.
Why did I think Cheryl Ladd?
Kim,
I don't even know.
That to me,
Kim.
what?
Kim, you pointed out one of my compliments, and I'm going to make your Candace Bergen. I'm going to belittle it because Kim reminded me that when I was substitute teaching, there was a a boy in the class that said to me, Mrs. Brown, you remind me of Mrs. Doubtfire. And everyone turned and looked at me like, how is she going to react to this? And I'm like, you mean the cross-dressing guy that's really dressed like a fat old lady? Thank you. I'm like, I believe I had to tell that kid to think about what he was going to say before he opened his mouth.
Yeah.
So I would take Candace Bergen over Mrs. Doubtfire any day.
No offense to Candace Bergen, but I kind like if you watch Murphy Brown, she kind of reminds me like of a Hillary Clinton.
Well, that's a compliment.
I mean,
pantsuits.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. That was somebody saying that I kind of looked like
matronly.
Yes. Oh well, that's just the way I took it as an 18-year-old.
Okay,
all right.
But please know that that's a compliment.
Okay, well,
and you can't spin the Mrs.
Truthfully,
Doubtfire
from the bottom of my heart, that was not me being a humble brag.
Okay.
I dislike humble braggers.
I know.
Which is a whole other podcast.
That's the only reason I would mess with you because I know you don't do that.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast, and I think that's fine.
I have another backhanded compliment, though, that I want people to quit saying.
Okay.
And that to say to a girl, you have such a pretty face.
Oh.
When she may or may not have a little extra weight. Not that this has ever happened to me.
Or me.
But people regularly say, oh my gosh, you have such a pretty face. You might as well just say, hey, fatty. So,
hey, fatty, you've got a pretty face.
Just say fatty. I mean, it's just acknowledging the fat. It never is about the pretty face. Even if that's what you think you're saying, that's how they hear it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, you covered all my favorite backhanded compliments. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you would like to go over with compliments? The only thing I felt like I missed was when we talked about people you give compliments to. We said, service workers, teachers. I have just really kind of developed a heightened sense to older people because I know this is hard for you guys to believe, but I'm getting older.
Yeah.
And it's true that as you get older, you feel invisible. Have you ever heard that? Like people are saying like, well, suddenly I'm 70 and like no one sees me. Like I'm invisible. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, but I'm gonna take this in a direction that you don't mean it. I have a problem with old people.
You have a problem with old people?
Okay, I'm 51.
Yeah.
And
they're just so
part
old?
of it is that both my parents have been gone for 10 and 20 years. So it might be a little bit like I'm jealous of people that have like old parents people? Or grandparents still alive. But like everybody's like, you have to be nice to them because they're old or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'm old too. No, I don't have to be nice to them because they're old. They're an idiot or they said something rude or mean. And like, that is so unlike me. And I always loved old people. So it's a relatively new thing for me.
Hatred of old people is new?
Hatred of new people, old people. It's not a hatred of old people.
Maybe because you're creeping closer to that where you think, why do they get a pass? And
I don't know. But it's also like, I just feel like in ways I never saw before, like just some meanness or something that I see from...
Well, I'm not saying I'm complimenting
or entitledness
or
something that a lot of the other people seem to let go by the wayside, and I feel personally offended by, even though it's not directed at me.
You're taking
necessarily
a personal attack by every old person when they act that way.
Every old person is out to get me.
Well, I always look at it as when people get old, and I'm talking like, in their 70s on, they go one of two ways. They become very sweet and kind, or they become total jerks.
Okay, that is where I'm feeling.
Yes, and there are probably, sadly, more of the jerks than there's not.
But I need to be more compassionate to them because I'm lacking that.
I look at it as that health problems, widowed.
Right.
Just the fact that, I know my mom, I don't even consider her old. She's 72, but struggles with the idea of getting older.
Yeah.
That really bothers her.
I don't know. I'm just talking about complimenting old people.
I mean, we want to hold different direction.
That's something I'm going to work on from this podcast.
There are mean people that are old and young, and I don't put up with that. But I'm just talking about like the nice little old lady that you see someplace.
Oh, sitting alone at a Bob Evans having breakfast.
Yeah, saying hello, smiling, acknowledging that. I don't know. I feel like I'm more attuned to that now because I feel like I want people to see me in 20, 30 years.
Yeah, they're not taking it seriously maybe either. And it's just, that's a whole nother reason to extend a compliment. or
I'll
to be
work on
kind.
it.
You need
That
to
is
work.
something I will take away from today. I'm going to work on
Stop
it.
tripping old people. Okay, so everybody's assignment going forward is to start giving more compliments.
Yeah, I think that's the purpose of this podcast.
Yeah. And
It's just to bring awareness to how important it is to feel good about yourself. It's important.
It is. And so we're all going to try to incorporate sincere, Tracy, write that down, sincere compliments into our daily lives. And we're also going to remember how to receive our compliment, which is not, you're a dumb liar. It is, thank you. Say it, Tracy.
Thanks.
She can ruin anything, even a compliment. Thank you so much for joining us. If you've joined us on YouTube, now you know what we look like. I don't know if that's good or bad.
It may help our viewership or
may bring it down. Okay, Debbie Downer. Thanks so much for joining us. Please join us next time when we find out what's up for grabs.